My wife served me divorce papers demanding full custody in the house. The next day, she texted, "I was too hasty. Let's reconcile." I replied, "Interesting." Then I agreed to reconcile, got her to sign a postnup waiving all claims to my personal assets and agreeing to joint custody, then refiled for divorce using the new agreement. 1 month later, her lawyer was stunned and calling mine about her client's misunderstanding. I 40M am still reeling. Yesterday, I got served divorce papers at my office from my wife, Sarah, 38F. After 12 years and 2 kids, Liam, 8M, and Chloe, 6F. This is how she does it. The papers were a declaration of war, full custody, supervised visitation for me, seriously, the house, which is mostly my premarital inheritance, and support payments that would bankrupt me. We've been rocky. Yes. Arguments about her spending habits. She adores brands like Argento Luxe, while I'm more of a sensible savings guy, a growing distance. But this was annihilation. I barely slept, mind racing. The sheer audacity. This morning, my phone buzzes. Sarah. Sarah. Mark, honey, I was too hasty. Last night was awful. I miss you. Can we please talk? Let's reconcile. I don't want this. Too hasty. After trying to get me and take my kids, rage boiled then an icy calm. Me interesting. She unloaded texts about regret, blaming her aggressive lawyer, Mr. Albright. Standard BS. We're meeting for coffee. To talk. She doesn't know my first call after her text wasn't to her, but to Miss Evans, a divorce attorney whose reputation is basically Voldemort in a pantsuit when it comes to protecting her clients. This isn't about saving the marriage. She torched that bridge. This is about protecting me and my kids from her greed. If she wants to reconcile after showing her fangs, okay. We'll reconcile. On my terms. Update 1 week later. Thanks for the support, Reddit. The coffee with Sarah was an Oscar-worthy performance. Tears. I made a mistake. Albright's a bully. I'll fire him. She claimed the papers were a scare tactic. Right. A tactic to scare me out of my kids and my assets. I played along, Mr. Understanding, while internally noting every manipulation. My meeting with Miss Evans was a breath of fresh air. She's a shark and exactly what I needed. Her take, classic overreach, then panic when they realize you might fight, or she scared you, thinks she can get you back with fewer concessions now. The plan, if Sarah truly wanted to reconcile and prove she wasn't after my money, she'd sign a postnup. Miss Evans drafted a masterpiece. My inherited house and investments remain my sole separate property. Untouchable. Joint legal and physical custody of Liam and Chloe. Clear schedule if we hypothetically split again. Mutual waiver of spousal support. Sarah has a marketing degree and worked before deciding my income was sufficient for her lifestyle. I presented it to Sarah. If we're rebuilding trust, Sarah, after those papers, I need this to know we're starting fresh, that this isn't about assets. I framed it as her chance to prove her sincerity. She hesitated. A postnub, so unromantic. Trying to take my kids in home wasn't exactly a sonnet. I replied gently. This gives us security. Her sister, Brenda, 42F, always sniffing around for drama and a handout, apparently advised against it. Brenda's an expert in spending other people's money and probably saw her vicarious lifestyle flashing before her eyes. But Sarah, believing I was putty in her hands and eager to avoid a costly legal fight, especially one she'd have to fund now, agreed. Okay. If it makes you feel better, I just want us back. She even declined getting her own lawyer to review it despite me suggesting it. As per Miss Evans' advice, make the offer, document the refusal. Why would I, if we're reconciling? She'd said with a dismissive wave of her hand. Famous last words. We signed it before a notary. Ironclad. Yesterday, Miss Evans refiled for divorce on my behalf, citing irreconcilable differences, attaching our lovely new postnup as the settlement agreement. The original petition from Sarah was dismissed due to our reconciliation. Waiting for the fireworks. Update 2, 1 month later. The explosion happened. Roughly 3 weeks after I refiled, Sarah got served. The sheer unadulterated rage was something to behold. First, Mr. Albright called Miss Evans practically screaming. Miss Evans relayed he was apoplectic. Albright, this is a travesty. Your client defrauded my client. She signed that Postnup under duress, false pretenses. It's an outrage. Mr. Albright, your client initiated with extreme demands, then begged to reconcile. My client agreed, contingent on the Postnup to protect his premarital assets and secure joint custody given her initial aggression. Miss Sarah's last name signed willingly, declined independent counsel despite being advised, which part is unclear. Albright blustered about misunderstanding and undue influence. Miss Evans invited him to challenge it in court. Then Sarah, the texts, the voicemails, a torrent of fury. You tricked me. You bastard. I trusted you. You used my love for our family. This is sick. My lawyer says that paper is worthless. You'll pay. Her sister Brenda chimed in with a voicemail calling me a sociopathic monster and whining that Sarah was a victim. She was just emotional. You should have been a man and given her what she needed. Yeah. My entire financial future. Sarah's main cheerleader, Leo, 39M, always suspected he had a crush and definitely loved the drama, started his passive-aggressive social media campaign about snakes and men preying on vulnerable women. He tried to confront me at the grocery store, puffing his chest out about how I was destroying Sarah. I just deadpanned. Excuse me. I'm looking for the artisanal sourdough. And walked away. His sputtering was epic. The entitlement is astounding. They genuinely believe Sarah was owed her initial demands, and my trick was not letting her financially cripple me. The idea she's bound by a legal document she signed willingly after she started this war is apparently an alien concept. Miss Evans is unconcerned. Albright has no solid ground. Sarah wasn't coerced. She was arrogant and thought she was outsmarting me. Current status, Albright's filing to contest the Postnup. Hearing in a few weeks. Sarah's spinning tales, forgery, drugging, mental incompetence. It changes daily. The kids are with me this week as per our reconciliation agreement, which I followed to the letter pre-Postnup to demonstrate good faith. Handover was icy. Liam asked why mommy was so mad. Grown-up disagreements, buddy. We both love you. Hardest part is shielding them, not backing down. She lit the match. Update 3D. This legal trench warfare is exhausting. The hearing to contest the Postnup was pure theater. Sarah, styled like a tragic heroine, claimed I'd emotionally manipulated her, that she was confused and didn't understand. Claimed I promised a no-strings-attached reconciliation. Miss Evans eviscerated her on the stand, presenting the timeline. Sarah's aggressive filing, then immediate plea to reconcile. Mark cautiously agrees, then proposes Postnup for his security. My texts emails explicitly stating I needed the Postnup to rebuild trust after her attack. Notary's testimony. Sarah was calm, coherent, understood, and declined legal review. The Postnup, clear, simple language. The judge, a sharp older woman, was visibly skeptical of Sarah's victim act. Asked her, Mr. Mai's last name didn't physically compel you to sign this document. Sarah, but he pressured me emotionally. Judge, so you made a strategic decision you now regret after your initial legal salvo didn't result in immediate victory. Is that it? Albright objected. Judge waved him off. Ruling on Postnup validity is pending, but Miss Evans is optimistic. The judge's comment about buyer's remorse not voiding contracts was telling. The dirty tricks escalated as predicted. CPS call, anonymous tip, neglect, unsafe house. CPS investigated, found nothing. Case closed. Pure stress tactic. Had Brenda's dramatic fingerprints all over it. Work sabotage. Anonymous email to my boss, HR, misusing company resources. Emotionally unstable. Hostile. Included twisted private details only Sarah knew. My boss, thank God, saw through it. Keep your head up, Mark. He said. HR filed it under Dick Divax. Vindictive X, Amelia Ting though. Financial BS. Sarah got my new credit card number. Likely saw it during a kid pickup before I moved handovers to neutral ground, and tried to buy a $2,000 Silas and Sloan clutch. Fraud alert caught it. Claimed it was an accident. Yeah. Right. Parental alienation light, telling the kids I don't love mommy anymore, trying to make mommy poor. Chloe asked why I was taking Mommy's house, which was never hers to begin with, having careful, reassuring talks with them. Miss Evans is documenting everything. My response, meticulous documentation and unwavering adherence to the legal process. Every dirty trick, Miss Evans sends a formal letter to Albright, noting the harassment, attempted fraud, CPS call, work complaint, stating these will be used to demonstrate Sarah's character and unsuitability for sole custody. Albright's replies are getting clipped. He knows his client is a liability. There was a moment last week after CPS left, I nearly broke. Wanted to call Sarah scream. Instead, I called Miss Evans. She reminded me my calm, methodical approach is what's driving them nuts. They want an emotional reaction. So I stick to the plan, document, trust the process, be the best dad I can. The judge's ruling on the Postnup is imminent. That will be the game changer. Fuck their entitlement. Fifth, 6 months later, it's done. Divorce finalized 2 weeks ago, about 9 months since Sarah's initial salvo. The judge upheld the postnuptial agreement in its entirety. Albright's arguments about duress and manipulation demolished. The judge stated Sarah made a series of strategic choices, the consequences of which she now seeks to evade. The court finds not coercion, but regret following a calculated risk. I've memorized that line. Sarah's dirty tricks backfired spectacularly. CPS call used by Miss Evans to show Sarah weaponized agencies and traumatized the kids. Work complaint demonstrated a pattern of malicious behavior to harm my ability to provide. Credit card attempt, judge called it attempted theft. Parental alienation, kids' statements via child advocate showed Sarah was bad-mouthing me. This heavily influenced the custody decision. The resolution, assets, house is mine, premarital investments are mine, we split minimal actual marital assets. Sarah got her personal stuff. Custody, joint legal and physical, 50-50 schedule as per the Postnup. Judge explicitly warned Sarah against further alienation attempts threatening custody modification. Spousal support waived. Child support per state guidelines for 50-50 custody. Fair, not punitive. Legal fees, each pays their own. Albright tried to argue I should pay hers due to my deception. The judge nearly snorted. Sarah's courtroom reaction to the final judgment, stunned silence. Outside, she raged at Albright. You told me this wouldn't hold. I'm ruined. He mumbled about an appeal. Miss Evans says it's a snowball's chance in hell and costly. Brenda tried to confront me in the parking lot. Karma's a bitch, Mark. I just smiled, tired but genuine. Actually, Brenda, I think Karma just made her delivery via registered mail and a legally binding contract. Got in my car, drove away. The aftermath. Sarah's in a small apartment, had to get a full-time retail management job. Complains constantly about money per school grapevine. Other parents have largely iced her out. Brenda is fuming impotently. Leo, the savior, ghosted once it was clear Sarah wasn't getting a massive payout. My kids, they're thriving. Stable schedule, less tension. Liam soccer star, Chloe's my little bookworm. We talk when they have questions. Me, I'm lighter. The stress was insane. The cost significant. But standing up for myself and my kids methodically, legally was worth every damn penny. She wanted war. I just fought smarter. No dramatic Hollywood revenge. Just the cold, hard, legal, and financial consequences of her own greed and manipulative arrogance. She thought she was playing me. Turns out she played herself, signing the very document that sealed her fate based on her own overconfidence. That Reddit is satisfaction. She built her own prison. Thanks for being a sounding board. Time to actually live again.